non-starters for both teams, beginning with the Eagles. Number 3, Braden Zimmerman. Number 5, Jacob Selner. Number 11, Noah Augie. Number 13, Greg Miller. Number 15, Brandon Singletary. Number 21, Sam Giesecke. Number 25, Matt Janke. Number 33, Ashton Haynes. Number 41, Brody Bolden. Number 45, Augie Babel. And number 53, Dylan Lund. Non-starters for the Marshall Tigers. Number 0, Noah Pitts. Number 1, Bryce Lance. Number 3, Trey Steinbach. Number 4, Luke Jones. Number 10, Matt Kamileski. Number 12, Peyton Grant. Number 20, Cameron Alex. Number 23, Connor Offenfield. Number 24, Spencer Ehlers. Number 25, Dean Pokart. Number 35, Andrew Bennett. Number 40, Y.A. Black. Number 45, Brock Krasinski. Now let's meet tonight's starting lineups. First for the Eagles, a 5'10" junior, number 1, Jaden Domeyer. A 6'4" sophomore, number 25.
Welcome back to the Marshall High School. It is the Section 2 AAA Boys Basketball Playoffs quarterfinal matchup between the Marshall Tigers, 22-4 on the season, taking on the New Ulm Eagles, who are 12-13 on the season. All right, let's take a look at those Cruise Motors starting lineups. First for the visiting New Ulm Eagles, going like this with a 5'10" junior in Jaden Domeyer, followed by a 6'4" sophomore in Reese Melby. Then they go with a 6'3" senior in Connor Foley, followed by a 5'11" senior in Andrew Peters, and they'll round it out with a 5'10" sophomore. Take that back, a 6'3" junior in Caden Haynes, assisted by Matt Hoggy, excuse me. Wow, he's going to say Nate Fulkins and Ryan Meyer, head coach of the New Ulm Eagles, his head coach Steve Foley. And the starting lineup for the Marshall Tigers, they go with a 5'10" senior in Nick Claith, followed by a 6'4" senior in Trey Lance. Then they'll go with a 6'2" junior in Bryce Paulson, followed by a 6'3" senior in Jacob Hess. And they'll round out with a 6'6" junior in Matt Honkin, assisted by Ben Honkin, Iron Mike Christensen, and Taylor Johnson. Head coach of the Marshall Tigers is Travis Carroll. Well, great deal alongside it is Marshall Tiger Basketball. Those starting lineups brought to you by Cruise Motors. Score big on your next vehicle purchase. Your hometown salesman, Austin Knights, can help get you to a new used vehicle that will have you cheering the whole way home. Your hometown Ford Lincoln salesman, Austin Knights. Right off East College Drive across Highway 23. And right here next to the Marshall High School, Cruise Motors. Wow, great to be alongside. Dana Bates back at the studios. I'm Ryan Rollick. Also the crew of Studio One, Alex Peterson and company here tonight. Great to be alongside Marshall Tiger Boys Basketball hosting the New Ulm Eagles. Whatever goes on to play Saturday. Again, those times have changed. If you planned on going somewhere Saturday, if the Tigers can win here tonight, they will play at 1:45 if the Tigers could win here tonight. So keep that in mind. 1:45. We'll discuss that. First matter at hand, Tigers must win over the New Ulm Eagles. Tigers going right to left, ready now. Connor Foley and Matt Honkin to jump it up, and it is won by the Tigers. And we are underway. Trey Lance brings it into the front court for the Tigers over on the right side wing. Couple dribbles with the right hand, picks up his dribble, dumps it into Jake Cass. Jake looking to back down his man, spins on him beautifully, pass over to Paulson, and he'll put up a layup. Bryce with 2, and the Tigers are on the board on the Pizza Ranch scoreboard. Now pass behind here on the near side. Tigers throwing a little half-court trap, trying to get things rolling early. Pass underneath beautifully. Layup is good by Andrew Peters. On a nice dish. Peters with 2, and they tie it up. 2-2. Trey Lance on the right wing to the baseline. Bryce Paulson. Bryce off the bounce in the paint. Kick out. Open three for Nick Claith. He'll fire, and it's just too strong. Rebound down to Anka with the go board. Power dribble, wraparound pass to Hess. Jake Powers on the left elbow. He'll put up a jumper, and that's good. Jake with two. The Tigers 2 for 2 to start this ball game with high energy. 4-2. Tigers lead early. Reese Melby into the front court for the Eagles. Over to the left side. Here is Hames. He'll skip it all the way over to the right to Domeyer. Back on top of the key. Skip it back and now attacking. Put up a left-handed shot. Back iron. No good. Rebound is corralled. Spinning fadeaway. Good for Connor Foley. Great old board by Foley. And we're tied at 4 early at the Marshall High School. About a minute and change in at 16:40 to be exact. Lance on top of the key. Bullet pass down to Onken. Turnaround kiss is a little strong. Rebound kept alive. Paulson with the board. Lost it. At it. Gets it back. On the left baseline. Skips it on Lance. Trey. Couple dribbles on the right side of the paint to the baseline. Onken. Bullet pass down to Hass. Reverse layup is good. What a pass and finish. Jake with 4. Great find by Onken. Those two have been very good early on passing the basketball in the paint. Now the Eagles try to answer. Ball knocked away, but corralled by the Eagles. They get it on top of the key to Foley. He'll look over to the right. Great play by Nick Claith to knock it away. And a steal for the Tigers. Up the floor, Lance. Pass over to Onken. Matt, extra pass. Paulson, and they're going to come with moving the foot. First turnover by the Tigers, so both teams turned it over on that particular play. Good play by Nick Claith on the other end. Tigers just with a little extra slide of the foot for a travel on their end. Domeyer into the front court for the Eagles. Lobs it over to the far side. Here is Foley. Skips it back over to Domeyer. Domeyer off the bounce. Gives it right baseline and attacking Peters. Had it knocked away by Claith. Peters runs it down. Knocked away again. Claith gets on the ground. Loose ball. That goes on top over to the left baseline. Here is Melby. He'll fire a three. That one no good. Weak side board down to Nick. And he'll look to run for the Tigers. Gives it to Trey. Lance on the left wing. One dribble to Paulson. Bryce spins in the paint. Hangs in the air. Kick out Lance. Open three left baseline. Fires. Go! Trey for 3. That is a Christian Becker State Farm 3 and a 9-4 lead for the Tigers with 15-19 to play in this first half. They skip it over to Foley. Try to skip past to the baseline. Turnover on the Eagles. And it's not a shot at New Ulm, but I'm not sure they want to play this up-tempo game with the Tigers because that is what they love to do is get up and down the floor. And if they try to do that, you may see mistakes like that with the extra skip pass. Nobody hold. Second turnover by New Ulm, 9-4 lead for Marshall. Paulson on top of the key, left open. He'll fire the three. That's off the back iron. Weak strong side board comes down to Bryce. Throws it into Hess as he's fallen out of bounds. Now J.K. is going to be fouled. It's going to be a great pass to Nick Claith, but a foul on New Ulm. Goes on Andrew Peters. His first personal, first foul of the game period. 14:56 remaining to the first half. Lance, a three out of the inbound, is strong. Rebound down into the hands of Melby. Up the right side of the floor is Domeyer. Domeyer on the right wing, goes between the legs, trying to attack Nick. Hangs in the air, top layup, he gets it to go. Jayden Domeyer, 9-6. Marshall by 3 on the Pizza Range scoreboard. To the left side, here's Nick Claith. Nick, a couple dribbles on top of the key, left open. Bullet pass down to Hess. Wide open layup is missed. Rebound down to Paulson. He'll kick out Lance. He'll fake the three. He'll attack. Hang in the air. Shot no good. And the rebound is down to Melby. Letting them play early. Tigers will adjust and they'll battle. Their last game, they've been off for a while, but their last game against Waseca was very physical, letting them play in that game as well. Paulson almost with a beautiful steal. Goes out of bounds, though. Will stay with the New Ulm Eagles. Matt Onken will check out, as will Bryce Paulson, Noah Pitts, and Trey Steinbach in for Marshall. A 9-6 lead for the Tigers. 14-12 to play first half for the Marshall High School. Section 2 AAA quarterfinal matchup. Lob the ball in to Foley. Foley spins on Hess. Fadeaway jumper, strong. Rebound down to Lance. Trey looking to run, coming up the right side of the floor. Hesitates, crosses over, gives it to Noah Pitts. Noah fakes the three, dumps it down to Hess on the block. Jake, power dribble, right-handed hook, rims out, rebound, battle for. Jake gets it, pump fake, shot no good, rebound down to Steinbach. Trey will power up, foul, and he'll go to the line for 2. Almost got the N1. Boy, Marshall hitting the glass hard. A boatload of boards already. And they continue to push. Steinbach will go to the line for 2, try to expand to the 9-6 lead. 13:52 to play first half. Steinbach first free throw is good. And we'll get a timeout here by Wyndham, which is brought to you locally by the Mattress Mart of East Coast Drive and Marshall. A 10-6 lead early for the Tigers on the Pizza Ranch scoreboard. 13:52 to play first half. Still to the Tiger basketball, 101.7 and 1400 KMHO. Welcome back to the Marshall High School Section 2 AAA quarterfinal matchup. Marshall Tigers and the New Ulm Eagles. Trey Steinbach back of the line out of a New Ulm timeout with one more free throw. Trey shoots, no good. Strong off to the right. Ball up in the air, out of bounds off of Noah Pitts. Tigers will be able to set up their full court pressure though. A 10-6 lead for Marshall as the inbound comes into Foley. Gives it back to Zimmerman. Zimmerman skips it over to Foley. Still in the backcourt. Bullet pass into the front court for the Eagles. It goes to Melby. Melby now trapped. Gives it to Foley, left wing. Dumps it down to the baseline, Domeyer. Domeyer throws it off a couple legs, and they're going to call a kick. Coach Carroll not really agreeing. It looked like it was thrown off the back of a leg. But then a kick after that, inadvertently. But there was a kick. Ashton Hames checks in for New Ulm. Inbound coming up left baseline for the Eagles. Comes into Foley on the left wing. Tries a pass underneath, threw it to a spot, and losing it and getting it back and then throwing it in is Andrew Peters. Noah Pitts coming down the middle of the floor. Bullet pass. That's out of bounds. Intended for Jay Cass. So third turnover by New Ulm, second by Marshall. 13:28 to play first half on the Pizza Ranch scoreboard. A 10-6 lead for Marshall. Inbound comes into Hayes. Give it to Zimmerman. Foley lobs it ahead to Melby. Melby goes baseline. Peters to attack. Got caught in the air, and there's going to be a travel before any shot occurred. Fourth turnover by New Ulm. Paulson and Onken back in. Hess and Claith out for the Tigers. Also, Peters checks out. In for the returning, rather, is Caden Hames. And into the front court comes Trey Lance on the left wing. Crossover. Free throw line. Hands off to Paulson. Bryce pulls up from 16. That is good. Nice shot. Bryce Paulson with 4. So the scoring spread out. 12-6. Tigers lead early. Braden Zimmerman. Give it to Ashton Hames. Shot is blocked partially by Onken. Ball tipped out. And looking to attack and retreating now as Reese Melby gets over to the left side of Zimmerman. Zimmerman sets it up over to the near side. Here's Reese Melby. Melby looks at Ashton Hames, gives it over to Foley on the left wing. Foley looking down low, not available. Now on the right side, here is Melby. Zizing up Onken, fadeaway jumper from 16, halfway down and out. Rebound to Steinbach. Tigers up the floor. Trey Lance left side of the floor. 12-6 lead for Marshall. Crossover. Trey had his pocket picked. Nice defense by Foley. Steinbach almost had ripped it away. Now attacking, and we'll have a travel called on Foley. Good defense by Trey after lost that basketball. New rule in basketball is the wall, where that's exactly what Trey did there. Just put his arm straight up. Jumped with him. Caused him to travel. Onken on top of the key over to the left side of Steinbach. On top to Onken. Onken looks over to the right, gives it to Steinbach. Going right baseline, Paulson. Back to Steinbach on the wing. On top, Onken. Matt one dribble, hands off to Lance, left side. Trey, a couple dribbles, hesitates to the paint, right baseline. Open jumper for Noah Pitts is strong. Rebound down to Onken on the weak side. Matt, power dribble in the paint. Stops, step through left, nothing there. Give it to Steinbach. Trey, good pump fake, gets a step. Layup up, no good, but he'll go to the line for 2 more. Just a slight hesitation from Trey. Steinbach got his man off balance. And drew a foul on Caden Hames. That'll be his first. So Steinbach, first free throw is up, and that is good. Trey's second trip to the line, 2 for 3. Jake Hess in for Trey Lance. 11:54 to play in the first half. Steinbach through his routine. A free throw is up, and that one no good either. Rebound comes down to Foley. Trey 2 of 4, made both the front end, but couldn't convert the second. So Melby had a pass tipped. Steinbach with good D. They go right baseline. Zimmerman to attack. A tough shot over Pitts. No good. Rebound Onken. Matt skips it over to the left. Jake Hess tight ropes the left sideline to the baseline. He goes. Gives it to Steinbach on top Onken. Matt looks right at Paulson. Crossover. Matt in the paint. Extra pass to Hess. Layup up. No good, but a foul. And great pass from Matt Onken to set up Jake Hess. Eagles forced a foul. That goes on Caden Hames. That's his second. A couple Eagles ready to check in after this first free throw from Hess is no good. Domeyer in for Zimmerman. Peters in for Foley. A 13-6 advantage for the Marshall Tigers on the Pizza Range scoreboard. 11:30 to play in this first half. Hess back to the line, trying to add to his 4 first half points. Free throws up. That is good for Jake. 5 for the senior. So they give it to Domeyer. Peters gives it to Melby. Into the front court, then throws it behind. Nobody home, and turnover by the Tigers. When you set up a half-court trap, you take one dribble into the front court and stop, you're asking for trouble. And the Eagles turn it over for the 6th time tonight. Right side of Steinbach, 14-6 Marshall. Trey in the paint, gives it to Hess on top of the key, over to the right, Onken on the right wing. Matt sizes up, couple dribbles, power move, spin, beautiful hook shot, short though, and the rebound is down to Caden Hames. Melby up the floor, 4-0. On top of the key, trying to go by Hess, stops, cut off on the drive. Domeyer on top of the key. Here is Ashton Hames over to the right, Peters. Skips it to Melby on the left wing. Melby, couple dribbles, goes behind the back. Hess stays in front of him, handoff, and a pass thrown to Coach Carroll for turnover number 7 on New Ulm. Onken, Pitts, Steinbach out. Lance returns, Claith returns, and the first action of the night for Y.A. Black. Bryce Paulson inbound. Marshall leading 14-6 on that Pizza Range scoreboard, nearing the 10-minute mark of this first half. Lance on the left side wing. Good crossover. Jump stop. Gives it to Claith. Nick in a very tough spot on the baseline. That'll be a turnover by Marshall. Fourth turnover by the Tigers here early on. And if you're New Ulm 8 minutes in, they got to be pretty excited to only be down 8. Loose ball picked up by Clay. Turnover number 7 for New Ulm. Pass goes to Lance in the paint. Gets it partially blocked. Returns. Puts up the shot. Missed it. Rebound is down. Foley with the board. It throws it off Trey. And that'll be a turnover on Marshall. Sorry, I didn't mark the turnover before. 5 turnovers on Marshall. Tigers have missed some bunnies tonight. Trying to knock that rust off. And the ball knocked away by Y.A. Black, picked up by Peters, knocked away again by Y.A. out of bounds. Great D by Y.A. in the backcourt. Young sophomore starting to find his own game at the varsity level. And he has just got some tremendous athletic prowess. Domeyer in the backcourt gets it to Foley over to the left side. New player in is Brody Bolden. So Domeyer over to the right side. Peters goes baseline. Zimmerman pump fake shot over Paulson. Too strong. Rebound off of Trey Lance. Looked like it was off Foley's leg. The referee's going to come in and ask what the referee saw, but it looked like it was off a thigh out of bounds. We'll see, and they will reverse it. Lance and Foley saying, "Oh, no way." Will be Tiger basketball after the correction. 14-6, Marshall leads on the Pizza Range scoreboard as we head under 10 minutes. Lance goes left side, stops, cut off by Foley, kicks out to Claith on the right wing. Nick looks at Y.A. Black. He'll take one dribble, give it to Jake Hess. Jake to Paulson on the wing. Bryce gets a screen from Jake. Slip screen not available. Bryce now in the paint in a tough spot, puts up the 8-footer and gets it to fall. Bryce with 6 of the 16 and leading the Tigers. 16-6, biggest lead of the night for Marshall on that Pizza Ranch scoreboard. Domeyer Over the left side of the floor, gives it to Melby. Melby picks up his dribble on the wing, out to Domeyer. Domeyer back to Melby. Melby on the baseline. Zimmerman, shot is up, no good, but a foul will go on Trey. Zimmerman, job to hang in the air. Trey would have flown by. I'm not so sure Zimmerman would have got that ball up in the air, but he hung in the air long enough to draw a foul. Free throw is good for Zimmerman. Bryce Paulson checks out. Noah Pitts in for Marshall with 9:21 remaining in this first half. A 16-7 lead for the Tigers. Zimmerman swishes the second free throw. And here comes Nick Claith into the front court, over to the right to Trey Lance. Trey off a screen from Wyatt Black. Picks up the dribble, trying to give and go. Great recovery by Peters to steal it. Turnover on the Tigers. That's their 6th turnover. Right side, Zimmerman. Zimmerman out to Domeyer, on top to Peters, to the left, Melby. Melby looks down low, a couple dribbles with the left hand, trying to get by Pitts, does, stops, spins. Ooh, great extra move, and there's going to be a foul on Noah. Array of moves from Reese Melby to draw that foul. When baseline, faked it, tried to go to the paint, faked it, back to the baseline, and that got Noah off balance just enough to draw the foul and head to the line for 2. First one is up and is no good. Onken in for Hess. 16-8. Marshall leading on the Pizza Range scoreboard. 8:55 remaining in this first half. Second free throw for Melby is good. Melby 1 of 2, his first point of the night. And the Eagles get to within 7 with 8:50 to play first half. Lance on top of the key. Crossover, goes to his left, spins to the paint, hands off Pitts. Noah lost the ball, gets it back, pops the 16-footer. That's strong. Rebound, and we're going to have Onken with a push. First foul on Matt. Wyatt Black out. Trey Steinbach in for Marshall. In the front court is Domeyer. Domeyer hands off on top of the key to Zimmerman. Back over to Domeyer near the right side. Domeyer one bounce, give it to Foley. Foley back to Domeyer. Domeyer going underneath. Zimmerman, good catch. Shot is up. Is no good. Rebound out of Trey Lance. Trey coming down the middle of the floor. Hesitates, goes to his left. Knocked away by Foley. Foley coming up the floor, and he will go up and dunk one with 2 hands. No doubt about it. 4 for Connor Foley. He's picked Trey's pocket a couple times. That's 7 turnovers for Marshall. Lead is down to 5. Onken gives it to Lance on the left wing. Trey going baseline. Kicks it over to Claith. Out to Pitts on the right wing. Noah to the top of the key. Stops. Dumps it. Onken. High block. Now left side. Matt, power dribble. Pump fake. Goes in the air. Got it. Melby recovered, but not enough. Onken gets his first 2. Lead back to 7 at 18-11 in favor of the Tigers with 7:40 remaining in the first half. Let's skip it over to Melby on the left wing. Looks at Foley on the opposite wing instead on top to Domeyer. Domeyer going baseline Peters. Peters, fadeaway shot blocked by Onken. Ooh. Say. It's going to be a foul on Matt Onken. Send Andrew Peters to the line for 2. First one on the way is no good. Coach Carroll asking what exactly did, because Matt Onken literally grabbed the ball. Peters didn't see Onken, but got a piece of the hand, and that's the second. Both free throws missed by Peters. 18-11 in favor of Marshall. 7:25 to play first half. Claith over to the right to Noah Pitts. Noah off the screen, stops, pops the 17-footer. That one no good. Rebound comes down to Foley, and New Ulm will look to run. Right in the middle of the floor is Foley over to the right. Zimmerman loses his dribble. In some trouble. He'll lob it out on the right side to Greg Miller, who just checked in. Left side, they go left baseline rather to Foley. Dangerous pass stolen by Bryce Paulson. Good read by Bryce. 8th turnover from New Ulm. Claith into the front court for the Tigers. He'll retreat and set up the O. Goes to his right, crossover, gets a screen from Hess, back over to the right, hand off Pitts. Noah curls around in the paint, gives it to Steinbach. Trey at the free throw line, hands off to Paulson. Bryce on the left elbow, out to the wing to Pitts. Noah, a couple dribbles with the right hand. Steinbach to set the screen. Over to Hess, right baseline to Nick Claith. Nick looking for a little attack. Goes to the right elbow on top to Steinbach. Over to the left, Paulson. Bryce fakes the pass. Going baseline. Stops off a double. Steps through. Gives it to Nick Claith. Puts up a running shot. No good. Rebound out of bounds off of New Ulm. Have an inbound coming up for the Tigers for the right baseline. And Peters out, and Ashton Hames checks back in for Newell. 6:27 remaining in the first half. Just a 7-point lead for Marshall at 18-11. Paulson in the paint, stops, puts up the mid-range jumper. That is good. Bryce leading all Tigers with 8. 20-11 in favor of Marshall. Left side, Miller. Bounces it to Zimmerman, now into the front court to Melby. Melby, here comes the double, lost his dribble again in the serious trouble. Pass up, good catch by Foley. They go to Miller. Miller retreats out to the left wing, bounces it to Zimmerman at half court. Zimmerman over to the right wing, Ashton Hames. Right baseline, Melby will fire a 3 over Pitts. That is a swish. Reese Melby for 3. Lead down to 6 at 20-14 with 5:45 remaining. Paulson going baseline. Close quarters to Jake Cass. Jake out to Noah Pitts. Fakes the 3. Get it left base, or jumper rather. Gives it to Clath on the left baseline. Nick to attack in the paint. Wraparound pass. Paulson not quite ready. He'll run it down though. Now Bryce puts up the mid-range jumper. Yes! Bryce with 10. 22-14 on the Pizza Ranch scoreboard in favor of the Tigers with 5:20 to play. Foley will try to run over Noah Pitts. He does. Misses the dunk. And draws a charge, does Noah Pitts. That'll be the second on Connor Foley. Foley, a senior, stays in with those 2 fouls. Trey Lance checks back in for Marshall. Also in for the Tigers is Matt Hemileski. Lance off the bounce, hangs in the air. Nice finger roll. Just too much elevation. Trey with ease lays that in. Tigers back up by 10 at 24-14. 5 minutes remaining in this first half. Ball knocked out of bounds by Jake Cass.
Checking in for the Eagles, number 41, Brady Bolden.
Into the game is Brady Bolden. Checks in for his first action. So give it to Domeyer on top of the key. Over to the left, Melby. On top to Foley. He'll fire a 3 from the top of the key. Yes! Connor Foley for 3. He has 7. To the baseline, Paulson. He'll fire a 3. That is good! Bryce with 13. Christian Becker, State Farm 3, puts the Tigers back up by 10 at 27-17 with 4:30 remaining in this first half. Ball knocked away by Steinbach, run down by Foley. Domeyer, bad pass stolen by Hemileski. Matt coming up the floor, over to Paulson, wraparound pass back to Hemileski, layup goal. Good give and go, timeout Newell. Tigers lead 29-17 on the Pizza Ranch scoreboard. So listen to Tiger Basketball 101.7 and 1400 KMHO.
High school contests and practices. Thank you to O'Hara Marshall for partnering with the Marshall School District in providing this service. Please help keep Marshall High School clean by recycling your plastic bottles in the containers located throughout the gymnasium complex. Thank you. The winner of tonight's game will advance to the Section 2-3A semifinals and play on Saturday afternoon at 1:45 p.m. at Gustavus against the winner of tonight's Faribault-Waseca game. Once again, the winner of tonight's game plays Saturday at 1:45 p.m. Hey, Tiger fans, download the free Marshall Tiger app on your mobile device. Tigers, check in the holding events during Tiger Points for your attendance. You get your points in the app right store and at local businesses, fan schedules, and Oscars and game day programs, all on the Marshall Tiger app. Search Marshall Tigers in the App Store and download today.
Welcome back to the Marshall High School, a 29-17 lead on the Pizza Range scoreboard in favor of the Tigers. Again, that timeout brought to you by the Mattress Bar, giving you a better night's sleep since 2000. Quality products with delivery within 100 miles of Marshall. The Mattress Bar on East College Drive next to Mike's Cafe in Marshall. Well, Melby skips it over. Bad pass stolen by Hemileski. A second steal. Hemileski will go up for the layup. It's good! And Hemileski off the bench with 4. 31-17, largest lead of the night for the Tigers on that Pizza Ranch scoreboard. 3:50 remaining in the first half. Ball knocked away, but there's going to be a bump called on Andrew Bennett. Bennett, Lance, Black, Himaleski, and Paulson on the floor for Marshall. Bryce has been the catalyst on offense. 13 first half points for Bryce Paulson. Left side, Peters on top to Melby. Melby had his pocket picked by Lance. Bounces it off a couple feet, gets it back. And now Trey will bring it into the front court for Marshall on the left side. Turnover number 9 on New Ulm. Lance on the left side. Still goes to the top off a double screen. Left open. He'll fire the three. That one off to the left. No good. Rebound comes down to Domeyer. He'll throw it ahead to Melby. Melby cut off by Lance. Will throw it out to Domeyer. Domeyer over to the left. Peters. Peters on top to Haynes. Over to the right. Domeyer. Domeyer, one dribble. Give it to Peters. Peters back over to the right. Domeyer. Domeyer try to attack Himaleski. Cut off. Goes on top. Back over to the left. Melby. Melby looks on top of the key. Not available. Couple dribbles. Melby had his pocket picked, but it goes out of bounds. Staying with New Ulm. Noah Pitts will check in for Marshall, replacing Paulson. Gets a nice round of applause. Also Melby out, as is Caden Hames. Ashton Hames checks in. And the return of Connor Foley. Peters to inbound. Knocked out of bounds by Lance. 3:04 remaining first half. 31-17 on the Pizza Ranch scoreboard. Give New Ulm a lot of credit. They got blasted by Marshall in the regular season, 80-39. They put up a very good effort in this first half against Marshall. Zimmerman lobs it up for grabs. Bennett knocks it away off an eagle. That was off Domeyer. And the Eagles are going to retain possession. Tough spot for that referee to call it. With the bodies there, but the Tigers will D it up. Domeyer attacks right side of the paint, hangs in the air. Shot strong, rebound down to Lance. Trey trots up the floor on the left side. Goes to the top of the key, now at the free throw line. Good hesitation, hangs in the air, shot no good. Gets his own board, goes up and he's fouled. Lance will head to the line for two.
Eagles foul on number 35, Andrew Peters, his second personal foul. 16 foul.
Tigers talked about trying to get rid of that rust. They have not played since February 23rd. Practice can do some things for you, but it can never mimic game speed or against a team that doesn't know what you're trying to run. Ashton Hames out. Melby back in. Himaleski out. Great minutes. Matt Himaleski, 2 steals, 4 points. So the free throw is up from Trey. That's no good. Y Black though with the O board. YA gives it to Noah Pitts on the baseline. Wraparound pass to Bennett. Beautiful pass and finish. What a pass from Noah. Good finish from Bennett. He has 2. And the largest lead of the night, out by 17 for the Tigers at 34-17. Now a pass airmailed out of bounds. Turnover number 11 on New Ulm. So Lance will bring it up the floor for Marshall. Goes over to the left to Noah Pitts. 2:25 and counting. First half, 34-17 on the Pizza Ranch scoreboard. Lance fires a 3 right wing. Oh! Trey! His second 3. He has 9. A Christian Becker State Farm 3. Melby in the backcourt. Off balance. High pass. Good catch by Foley. He'll attack left side. Cut off on his drive. Will spin. A little out of control. Shot no good. Ball knocked loose. Picked up by Nick Claith. Nick dribbles through traffic beautifully into the front court. Off a screen from Bennett. Goes to his left. Nick goes baseline to Y.A. Black. Y.A. skips it on top to Pitts. Over to the right, Lance. Lance looking for a screen from Bennett. Gets one. Shuffle, fires the 3 over Zimmerman. Yes! Look out! Trey heating up his third 3 and 12 for the senior. 40-17 in favor of the Tigers after another Christian Becker State Farm 3, and then Zimmerman off his leg out of bounds. Turnover number 12. Black and Bennett out. Onken and Prusinski in. Also, Jake Hess returns. So Claith, Hess, Prusinski, Onken, and Pitts on the floor for the Tigers. Domeyer, Peters, Zimmerman, Melby, and Foley on the floor for New Ulm. To the left, Pitts. Pitts will attack baseline. He'll hang in there. Shot blocked by Foley. Prusinski almost had the O board. It comes down to Foley. He'll bring it up the floor for New Ulm. Goes over to the left to Zimmerman on top to Foley. Minute 17 remaining. First half, 40-17 in favor of the Tigers. Right baseline, Melby trying to attack, trying to go at Onken. Goes to his left, hangs the air, tough shot, and gets it. Reese Melby with 6. And now Foley's going to be called for his 3rd foul. It's a crossover by Onken. Drew the foul, 17 foul on the Eagles. This will send Matt Onken to the line for 1-1. 1:03 remaining in this first half. Onken, free throw, no good. Rebound comes down to Melby. And Duom will bring it up the floor. Melby over to the left to Foley. Foley on the left side wing for Duom. 42-19, I should say, with 50 seconds remaining in the first half on the Pizza Ranch scoreboard. Peters on the right side wing goes baseline Melby. Melby guarded by Onken. He'll size up, fire a 3. That one's short. Rebound down to Przinski, gives it to Nick Lath. Nick flies up the floor, right down the middle, down the left side of the paint. Shot swatted out of bounds by Foley. Second big block for Foley. And he'll check out with his 3 personals. He's had a highlight dunk and he's had a couple blocks. Young man plays with a lot of tenacity. As Nick Lath now stands at half court. Domeyer comes out to challenge. The Tigers will run off the final 20. After instructions from Coach Carroll, a fire over to Noah Pitts, right back over to Nick, left side of the floor. 12 seconds before the end of the half. Nick backtracks to half court. Comes a screen from Przinski. Nick going right side, hangs the air, give it to Hess. A fire 3 right baseline. Yes! Jake Hess! Inbound comes in, and that'll end the first half. Jake Hess with a 3. Another Christian Becker State Farm 3, and the Tigers lead 43-19 on that Pizza Ranch scoreboard. So you listen to Tiger Basketball, 101.7 and 1400 KMHL. Welcome back to the Marshall High School. Tigers lead on the Pizza Ranch scoreboard. 43-19 after one half of play. Get you set for the second half. Dan Bates back in the studio. Brian Bromwick. We'll do it alongside Marshall Tigers Section 2 AAA basketball playoffs. As we'll start with the ball. Tigers going left to right in your radio dial. As they go right baseline. And here is a 3 launched and no good by Matt Janke. So he starts the second half for New Ulm. Place of Caden Hames. Some foul issues in that first half. So Onken throws it away. Steal for Janke as he'll come up the floor. A pass over to Foley. Layup good and long. Onken tried to draw the charge and couldn't quite get there in time. Foley with 2. He now has 9 and he'll head to the stripe for one more. Third on Onken. Foley in his own right playing with 3 fouls. Misses the free throw. Rebound out of Trey Lance. 43-21 Marshall. They go to Matt Onken, left side of the free throw line. He'll look to back down Melby. Power dribble. Nice jump hook, and the lane is good. Pretty move by Matt. Nice soft touch. So battling through a little. I think all these guys were pretty excited just to be on a game floor again. Now a ball stolen by Trey Lance. Good read. Trey stops, goes, pass to Onken in the paint, power dribble, left hand layup is good. Janke tried to draw the offensive foul, not happening. Good dish by Trey. The Tigers lead 47-21, biggest lead of the night. 16-40 remaining in the game on the Pizza Range scoreboard. So go baseline, Janke. Faces up on Onken. One dribble, make it a couple. Dump it underneath. Good catch by Melby. Melby now goes up. Tough left-hand layup, partially blocked by Lance, out of bounds off Marshall. So it'll be an inbound coming up left baseline. Oh, take that back. They're going right baseline for the inbound. Peters will lob it in to Foley. Foley pulls up from 16. That's short. Rebound poked loose. Hess comes down with it, and they're going to call him for a travel. We'll have an inbound on the front of the scorer's table on the far side of the floor. 47-21. Marshall with the lead. Domeyer on top of the key. Couple dribbles, gives it, or try to get it to Melby, and Melby hesitated just a little bit. That caused a turnover on New Ulm. It's their 14th of the game. And Domeyer will check out. Zimmerman in for New Ulm. Inbound to Claith. Nick will bring it up the floor for Marshall. On the left side, goes to the top of the key. Crosses over. Pull-up jumper for Nick is up and go. Nice solid stroke from Nick. Knocks down the jumper. His first two of the night. And the Tigers lead 49-21. Let's give it to Zimmerman over to the right, Melby. Melby, guarded by Trey Lance. Looks to cross over. He'll spin. He'll hand off. Foley to attack in the paint. He'll put up the runner. That one just rolls off. Rebound comes down to Jake Hess. Hess up the floor. Over to the right. Good catch by Onken to the baseline. Claith. Nick looks inside. Over to Hess on the right wing. Fakes the skip pass. Back to the baseline. Claith. Nick. Couple dribbles with the left hand. Here he comes. Kick out. Hess fires an open three. It's up short. Rebound out to Onken. A deep board out to the right wing. Out to Lance to reset. 49-27. Marshall. 15:25 to play in the game. Lance on top of the key, left open, fires a three. Yes! Trey with his fourth three of the night, and another Christian Becker State Farm three. Score update, Mankato East is defeating Hutchinson 44-18 as expected. Ball tipped by Onken, that almost went in, but goes to Trey Lance with a steal, gives it to Claith. He'll retreat to the left baseline, resets, and then throws it away as Peters got it, and then was a foul by Hess. Jake's first foul. 52-21. Marshall leading on the Pizza Range scoreboard. 14:50 remaining. Foley on top of the key, gives it to Zimmerman. Zimmerman lost his dribble right away, gives it to Foley, left baseline, Janke. Lost it, gets it back, goes reverse layup. Nice move. So Janke with his first two of the night. Lance hands off to Onken. Onken, power dribble, goes all the way in, layup, good. Man, Onken finding the rhythm in the second half. He now has 8, 6 of them in this half. Janke on the left side, guarded by Onken at the free throw line. Power dribble, bounces it out, no one home, and will go out of bounds, turnover. On New Ulm, their 16th turnover. Ooh, they're going to say that's touched by Marshall. We got a timeout by New Ulm. 54-23. On to the Pizza Range scoreboard. 14:19 to play. So this is the Tiger basketball. 101.7 and 1400 KMHL. Back at the Marshall High School, 54-23. Tigers lead on the Pizza Ranch scoreboard on up a New Ulm timeout. Zimmerman on the left wing, gives it to the baseline, Melby. Back to Zimmerman on top. Over to the right, Janke gives it right baseline, Peters. Peters trying to get it down to Melby, not there. Janke skips it over to Foley, left side. As I try to go at Lance, lost it, gets it back. Foley in some big trouble. Got it out to Melby. Good job by Melby to come get it. He'll attack right side. Now a step back fadeaway 17-footer is short. Deep rebound run down by Foley on the wing. He'll pump fake, cut off by Steinbach. Give it to Peters, power dribble. Layup is missed. Rebound down to Steinbach. And up the floor comes Trey. Trey on the right side. It goes over to the right wing. Skips it over to Steinbach. Trey gives it to Noah Pitts. Noah curls around. Runner, no good. Rebound down to Melby. Wall back up the floor. Crossover by Melby. He'll spin to his right. Hang in the air. Tough shot is no good. Missed time rebound, but Paulson does come away with it. Came flying in and missed it, but got it anyway. Now Pitts goes to the left baseline. Picks up his dribble. Nobody home on the block, so we'll skip it on top to Steinbach. Trey going on the right side. Backdoor cut. There's Paulson. Wraparound pass. Pitts open three left baseline. Fires. No good. Rebound Steinbach with a putback. Trey with 4. For Mr. Steinbach, 2 free throws and his first field goal. 56-23, Marshall leading on the Pizza Range scoreboard. 12:50 to play in the game. Spinning around, Peters is going to travel for New Ulm. 17th turnover by New Ulm tonight. Hassan Paulson out. Claith and Onken in. Peters out. Got the Hames Bros in. Ashton and Caton. So look at him attack. Maybe Cousins per se. As they dump it down to Onken. Onken will spin. Nice move. Draw a foul. Almost got the N1. This is the thing for this young junior. He got some opportunities a year ago. Maybe not as minutes as a youngster would like, but you can see the growth continue to move for Matt Onken. 6'6", could be growing even more, and could be a very dangerous player. Fine-tune some skills over the summer, and look to take that next step. Continue improving. So Onken will go to the line for one more. Toes the strike, free throw is up, and that one is no good. Rebound down to Foley. 57-23 of the Pizza Ranch scoreboard in favor of Marshall. Foley over to the right. Gives it to Ashton Hames. He goes to the top of the key, and now we got a whistle away, and there's going to be a hold on Noah Pitts. It'll be Noah's first. I stand corrected as second. When calling a game and doing the scorebook, sometimes you miss a few of those things. Mainly fouls. Long pass coming in, almost caught. Foley just has to throw up a miracle. It doesn't go down. Himaleski up the floor over to Claith. Good running play. Layup no good. And now they're going to count the bucket. So Nick Claith with a bucket. Not sure if Jinky hit the rim, but Nick will be credited for 2. 59-23, Tigers lead on the Pizza Range scoreboard. 12:10 remaining. So they give it to Foley. To the right baseline, Jinky. Goes to the wing, hands off Zimmerman. Zimmerman off a screen from Foley. Leaves it for Foley. He'll fire 3 right wing. Goal for Connor Foley. He's in double figures. Make it 12 for the senior for New Ulm. 59-26, Marshall. Right side, Noah Pitts. Noah, a couple dribbles on the right side. He'll cross over, pick up his dribble, try to get it to Steinbach, poked away, goes to Onken. Matt, backdoor cut, beautiful pass, and Claith will finish. Beautiful bounce pass, Claith right there, layup good. 61-26, Marshall on the Pizza Range scoreboard with 11:25 remaining. Janke to attack, he'll hang in the air, shot no good, and there will be a foul on Noah Pitts. Third on Noah. Send Janke to the line for 2. So Janke will go through his routine. First free throw is up, and that is no good. Lance back in, Pitts out. Also, Zimmerman and Foley have a chair for New Ulm. Melby back in. as is Dolmeyer. Janke second free throw good. Peters in for Janke. So a jumper is good for Trey Lance. I was trying to correct a scoring error on myself. Trey knocks it down. Now 17 for Trey Lance. 12 in the first half. 11 minutes to play. 63-27. Tigers leading the Pizza Ranch scoreboard. Over to the right side is Ashton Hames. Gives it to Dolmeyer. Dolmeyer back over to the left into the hands of Caden Hames. Goes back to Ashton Hames. He'll bounce it back out. Hames going baseline, cut off by Himaleski, then swatted out of bounds by Onken. Good help defense by Matt. Steinbach and Onken out. Black and pass back in for Marshall. Inbound coming in from Peters on that left baseline. Gets it in to Melby, left wing. Melby faces up a YA. Wants to attack. Tries to go to his left. YA stays in front of him. He'll try to retreat. Throws it out to the wing. Peters on top. Ball knocked away and run down by Hames. Let's give it to Peters over to the left. And a three is going to be launched, and that is no good. Rebound it down to Jay Cass. Off the missed three from Melby. Now Lance just quickly down. Finger roll layup, not good. A rebound. A good crowd by Caden Hames, and up the floor comes Ashton Hames. Ashton leaves it for Dolmeyer. Over to the left. Give it to Peters. 63-27. Marshall nearing the 10-minute mark left in the game. Melby to the baseline, Dolmeyer. Dolmeyer, ball knocked away by from Peters, but he got it back, gives it to Dolmeyer. Dolmeyer then shovels it right to Himaleski. Turnover. Matt coming up the right side. It sees a spot, gives it to Haas. Beautiful pass, layup good. Well, I tell you, Matt Himaleski has played a whale of a game here tonight as well. It's his third steal and his second dime in this half. 65-27 Marshall, 9:40 remaining. So Dolmeyer on the right wing for New Ulm. Couple dribbles to the left hand, gives it to Hames. They give it to likes of Melby on the left wing, guarded by Lance. Melby on top of the key, crosses over, goes down, picks up his dribble, backdoor cut, nice pass. Ashton Hames with two. Good dish by Melby. Hames first two. And here's Trey Lance on the left side. One dribble, deep jumper is up and good. I tell you, Trey was missing a couple shots early, but he has been flat out on fire since 19 for the senior. And now a timeout called by New Ulm. 67-29, Tigers lead the Pizza Ranch scoreboard, 9:01 to play. So this is the Tiger basketball, 101.7 and 1400 KMHO. Back at the Marshall High School, 67-29 on the Pizza Ranch scoreboard. Marshall leading, 9 minutes to play. A score update from Waseca. 58-31, Blue Jays crushing Faribault. And it looks like the Tigers and Blue Jays will meet up again. This time won't be for a section championship, but it will be a semifinal matchup as Janke out of control, misses a left-hand layup. Pitts with a rebound. Lance on top of the key, stops. He'll pop the 17-footer. That one's short. Rebound run down by Pitts on the right wing. Noah goes baseline, backtracks, goes over to the wing on top to Lance. Trey to reset. Black to set the screen. Trey goes left side. Trying to get it to Paulson. Hands off to Bryce on top of the key. Bryce over to the right wing to Noah. Pitts lobs it down to Wyatt Black. Faces up, onto the double, gives it to Pitts, fakes the jumper, and they're going to call it travel on Noah.
Checking in for the Tigers, number 3, Trey Steinbach, 34.
Steinbach in. Actually, Lance, Hess, and Black check out. Steinbach, Bennett, and Onken back in for Marshall. This lineup, Noah Pitts more likely will be running the point for Marshall. Domeyer on top of the key, goes over to the left wing, hands off to Peters. All the way over to the right, hands off Foley, fires a quick triple, go! Connor Foley with his third 3 of the night, and he has 15. So go out on a high note in his senior, what would be his final game. 7:30 remaining, Marshall leading 67-32. Pitts puts up the shot, fouled, got it to go! Noah's first 2 points of the night. It's a Mattress Barn and 1. Give Brendan and Laura or one of their knowledgeable sales staff an opportunity to direct you to the exact things you'll need for a better night's sleep. 24 different types of pillows, a lot of sheet options. Mattress Barn carries the California King mattresses. Stop by on East Coast Drive in Marshall. Noah converts the 3-point play, and the Tigers well in control, leading 70-32 with 6:50 remaining on the Pizza Ranch scoreboard. Over to the right side is Peters. Looks on the blocks, not available. One dribble from Peters on top to Foley. Foley goes to his right, and he'll be fouled by Pitts on the way in. We know his 4th. Brzezinski, Bryce Lance going to check in for Marshall. Onken, Paulson, and Pitts out. Also in is Luke Jones. A 3 launch by Melby is no good. Rebound batted loose. On the ground, Miller picks it up. Ball tipped, though, beautifully by Bennett. Goes to Luke Jones. They're bringing up the floor. 6:10 remaining. Right baseline. Steinbach out of traffic. Gives it to Jones out near half court. On the right side, Jones. Crossover. Goes to the top of the key. He'll fire a 3. That one rattles off. Rebound down. Bennett rips it away. In some trouble. Andrew throws it out to nobody, and it's stolen by Jenke. He'll go up for a layup the other way, and that's good. Jenke with 5. So Jones will bring it up the floor. Great extra effort from Bennett. He was in a tough spot. He was nearing a travel. That's why he just got rid of it. Now Steinbach bulldozes his way. Ooh, save. I think Jenke was a little far under the rim, but they'll say no bueno. Steinbach will pick up a foul. Himaleski in for Steinbach, 5:21 remaining. Marshall leading 70-34 on the Pizza Ranch scoreboard. Foley goes over to his right, cut off by Bryce Lance. Now a spin layup is good. Foley's been the bright spot for New Ulm tonight. 17 of the 36 for Connor Foley. Himaleski hands off to Bryce Lance on the left wing. Bryce through traffic over to the right. Brzezinski. Brzezinski picks up his dribble, dumps it down to Bennett. Good seal, pump fake, shot up and good. Nice play by Andrew. Just literally had Jenke pinned, had no chance down on the low blocks. Foley hands off to Jenke on the wing. Gets a baseline to Foley. Foley throws it right to Luke Jones. Goes off at Jones to Bennett. Turnover on New Ulm. Left baseline is Bryce Lance. Crossover. Bryce in the paint. Pass went right through the wickets of Bennett. And up the floor, Peters will race. He has it knocked away and stolen by Himaleski again. What a play by Matt. Now Jones down the paint over to the left. Great catch by Bryce. Bryce Lance will retreat. He'll skip it on top to Jones. Jones fakes the shot to attack, and he'll travel. Four minutes and counting, running clock. 72-36. Marshall the lead. We got a timeout on the floor. 72-36. Tigers lead out of this Mattress Barn timeout. You listen to Tiger Basketball on 101.7 and 1400 KMHO. Back at the Marshall High School, 72-36. Tigers lead on the Pizza Ranch scoreboard as we head under 4 minutes remaining. So they go right side. We got a foul down on the block. And we'll have some free throws. First one is no good. Or 1-1, I should say, is no good from Dylan Lund. So Lance gives it to Jones. 3, no good. A strong side rebound. It comes down to new player Jacob Selner in. Out of the right side is Bolden. Bolden stops. He'll pop the jumper over Himaleski. That's good. Brody Bolden for 2. 3.5 minutes to play. 72-38 Tigers. Lance on the left side wing, and he is fouled by Miller. 13 foul on New Ulm. Tigers bring in a plethora of new players in their own right. Peyton Grant. Spencer Ellers in. And attacking is Jones. Give it to Grant on the baseline. To Ellers. To Offenthi. Connor hands it off to Jones. 3 left wing is up. That one too strong. Rebound down to Grant. They'll be able to reset. Grant out at half court. Backtracks. 2:45 remaining. Ball kicked and lost. And Miller will bring it up the floor for New Ulm. 2:35 remaining. 72-38 on the Pizza Ranch scoreboard. Tigers with the lead. So they give it to Augie Babel, and he'll put up a shot, and he is actually fouled.
Tigers foul number 24, Spencer Taylor is his first personal foul. 18 foul in the half. Babel at the line.
So Babel will head to the strike. 4-2. Goes through his routine. And swishes the first one. It's a very unique free throw shot. And Luke Jones went in about 3 steps. I don't know how Babel just maintained his routine. He swished the first one. He missed the second. And will go to the Tigers. Hey, whatever works. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do when you shoot free throws. Made 1 of 2. Tigers looking to set up their offense. Pass, great catch by Offenthi. Spins, shot is missed. Rebound battled for. Pokart knocks it out to Jones. Jones to attack. Jump stop in the paint. Gives it. And attacking is Grant. Back iron, no good. Rebound loose. Babel tips it up to Miller. And here come the Eagles. And a foul on Jones. 1 minute and counting. Tigers leading 72-39. So Miller will head of the strike 4-2. Bryce Lance. Check in for Jones. Luke, one of the 6 seniors playing their final home game here at the Marshall High School. Free throw is good for Miller, so he'll get another. Down to 25 seconds. Second free throw is good for Miller. Makes both. And it's a 72-41 lead for Marshall. And not sure the Tigers will run a play here. It looks like they will. Lance goes to the top, and now we'll backtrack down to 14 seconds remaining. Bryce Lance dribbles out at half court. The Tigers going to pick up their 23rd victory of the season. They'll be on to the semifinals. They will play Waseca on Saturday at 1:45 against Davis Adolphus College.
1:45 p.m.
They will meet again. Another battle between the Blue Jays and the Tigers coming up on Saturday afternoon. Tigers win here on the Pizza Ranch scoreboard, 72-41 over New Ulm. Take a timeout and we'll come back with the Dave Kudare Farm Bureau Financial Postgame Show. Listen to Tiger Basketball on 101.7 at 1400 KMHL.